Alright, so I decided to jump on the bandwagon and record some benchmarking videos because those seem to be very popular and AI labs constantly come up with new models. So I vibe coded a quick Johanna benchmarks interface here, creatively named, but my channel is branded with my name, so might as well. And today we're going to test at least a couple of these new OpenAI models that are like Terra and Luna, but with enhanced reasoning, so pro models of these smaller models, and maybe compare them to Chinese models. So I created one challenge here, which might be a little bit weird for somebody who doesn't even own a car, but it's called car identification. And let's see here, I already did like a couple test runs. So how it works is I rode around on my e-bike and I, just filmed some parked cars, and I will have models come up with, looking at the frame of the video that we'll choose and then decide, okay, what car models are these? And now you might go like, well, image recognition, that's kind of trivial. That was solved a couple of years ago. However, I find it's very interesting just from the model's personality, because these are not clean photos, so we'll see like, what is the confidence level here? Will they confidently miscategorize car makes and models? Or will they just maybe accurately judge or give disclaimers? Okay, I think it might be this, but it could be something else. And I ran a couple tests and I found it very, actually very interesting already that actually a lot of models settle on different car models. And the one problem with this test is I don't know cars. So I guess I have to look at the comments later or whatever. Or, if you're a car nut, maybe you can tell by the answers which model got it right or which model got it wrong. I won't be able to tell. You can tell sometimes just by how they explain which model they chose. But let's go and take a look. And I had some really nice like recordings, and I have a lot of like lowbrow car sales lots around me. So I just did a quick round, on my bike, grabbed some frames, and if this gets popular, I might choose some bit better videos. But so I had some here where I had models just evaluate. Okay, here's a row of white parked cars. Which ones are those? And now in this live recording, I will actually just randomly pick one of my video clips, randomly pick one of the frames. We'll run it using these new OpenAI Pro versions, and then we'll see how they do. Maybe I bounce it against Gemini, which even the Flash version seems to be pretty good at image recognition, which makes sense. Google has like a million videos and tagged images and could train their model easily. Whereas a Chinese model, if it's not just distilled, if they have their own training data, they might not have these US make models readily available. But enough yapping, to quote a recent commenter, and let me jump right into run a challenge here, Open Arena, and let's load the video. And some of these turned out horrible simply because some I filmed on my phone while riding the bike, which was not so easy, and a couple were filmed with a camera on my helmet, which also just was not a great idea. So okay, maybe this one. I have to remember that I'm only filming this part of my screen. Okay, let's load a different video. Maybe this one. Unfortunately, if I press enlarge here, it does it like really full screen on my real screen. So I don't know. Let's stop it here and, you know, grab the current frame and let's see how the models do. So let me deselect here these ones and let's select Luna, which is the smallest one. Yeah, like Luna, like Moon. Moon is the smallest celestial object. Terra Pro. Not going to do, you know what, maybe, yeah, let me do Sol Pro as well. And I will make Sol Pro the ones that we test the other ones against. And now I kick them off on, and this is on OpenRouter, so they can't learn from each other's runs or anything. So let's see here. Hopefully I don't run out of credits. If you want me to do a whole bunch more cool challenges, you know, even some complex ones on the very best models, maybe this is the time to ask you to like and subscribe. So if my channel gains traction, obviously I can spend a bit more on these tests. Let's see here. So they're all thinking, so it's not instant here. And this is my prompt here. You are an expert automotive appraiser. Identify as many cars as possible in this image. Number each car and for each give make, model, approximate year, and approximate average use price for that type of vehicle. Now, I fully expect these prices maybe to be a bit on the low side, given that car prices have just been going up and up. You know, give a confidence level per car and say clearly when you're guessing. So work from most clearly visible vehicles to the least. All right, so we see here Terra and Luna have already come in. I probably should have, you know, rearranged those because Luna is the least, the cheapest one. Then comes Terra Pro. So let's see here. So for Luna, this cost 5 cents. And it identified it as Honda Odyssey minivan. Gosh, you know, you can almost live in a minivan. I'm surprised if it's only like $9,000 to $1,600 US. So I guess maybe it says here the front end shape. So that must be this darker one here in the foreground. And then Jeep Grand Cherokee SUV. That's the red one. Okay. Appears to have the rear quarter styling, wheel arches, and taillight shape. So this is already, you know, pretty impressive sounding for Luna Pro. And then Dodge Journey crossover SUV. And then it even tries to do the white midsize sedan. I don't know if it... Where does it see a white sedan? Possibly Toyota Camry. I don't even see a white sedan here. Is that a white sedan here on the left edge? How would you tell that's a sedan? To me, that looks like it could be a hatchback or SUV. And this is clearly not a sedan here. And for Europeans, I guess sedan is the you know, car shape where it's not a hatchback, you know, where it has like the regular shaped trunk. Oh, okay, white vehicle on the far left. Okay, all right. So we got that. Let's take a look at Terra Pro. So this put Honda Odyssey first. Then it says Dodge Durango. So we already have like differences here, and I don't know car models. So maybe let's look here by looking at the results here in the 3 columns. So Luna in the middle here ranked Honda Odyssey first, and then dark blue minivan. Yeah, okay, Honda Odyssey. Interestingly, the Terra Pro, so the slightly larger model, gave it a higher price. Luna said the Honda Odyssey would be, and same approximate year range. It said, 9,000 to 16,000, which to me sounded low, and Terra Pro says $12K to $18K, confidence high. Okay, now Terra Pro says the second model it identified is a Dodge Durango, whereas Luna said Jeep Grand Cherokee. Let's pull this up. And then red SUV, Jeep Grand Cherokee. Again, for the car nuts who can look at the picture and say, okay, the model is right or wrong. All right, so Terra Pro, so the Earth type of model, says for 8 cents that the red one is a Jeep Grand Cherokee 2014 to 2020 and $50K to $25K. And again, like, am I blind? Does it mean this or this? I have no idea. White vehicle at the far left, unidentifiable. Okay. All right, so let's look at Sol Pro, which cost a full 45 cents. So that's like way more expensive than 5 cents or 8 cents. So let's see if we get a good bang for our buck. It says Jeep Grand Cherokee, and then Honda Odyssey, and then another Jeep Grand Cherokee on the left. And then it says with medium confidence that there's a Chevrolet Traverse. Okay, so that would be the one here on the right. The long rear quarter window and tail lamp body treatment fit a second generation Traverse. Okay, and then it even tries to identify a silver vehicle. Okay, so I guess there's like a pickup truck and then there's another silver vehicle there. Toyota Sienna and a Savannah cargo van, white at the extreme left. Low, highly speculative. I would say, car nuts can here determine, was it worth the extra money to spend on Sol Pro? And for people who only do coding, you might think that it's like very compartmentalized, that how good a model is at car identification has like no bearing on code tasks. But that's actually not true. I mean, there is some overlap, like if a model is guessing too much, or if it's confidently wrong, and if it's just not good at something, then very interestingly, very often it's then also doing the same thing with coding. It's almost like a personality. You have to think of these models as having personalities, and based on the personality of a model, you have to kind of put into context the results that you get. But I feel now this video was actually not a super good one, so let's dig in here. I did really like this video that I took that one time of like a car mechanic shop. And I really have to implement something here. So if I do it like large, that it doesn't do this, but that it just keeps it within the current window. It pops it out. So that's something to, I guess, vibe code immediately. Actually, I almost feel like doing this right now. And given that this is an offline video, I'm not live streaming or anything, I could actually maybe just quickly do this. Alright, and we are back. So now that video window should work better. And I also added a local timestamp here in the upper right corner, so you can see when I cheat and I edit the videos. But let's go back and load the video. And let's see here. Yeah, now I should be able to enlarge it like this, and we can see and grab a frame here. Gosh, it's kind of hard to actually hold your phone while you ride your e-bike. So I grabbed this frame here. So let's try this one. And so do we want to run Sol Pro again, even though it costs like 40 cents? Let's run Terra Pro. Okay, let's remove that one. Let's run Terra Pro as the main one against Luna Pro and maybe Gemini and yeah, these three. Let's see how Gemini does compared to Terra Pro, including price-wise. All right, it's running. Wow, see, Gemini is really good for these, frame or image recognition things. That was fast. It was less than 1 cent. Let's take a look here. So this is what Gemini 3.5 Flash says. Dark green sedan on the foreground right. Honda. All right, well, $3,500 to 5.5. All right, so then we have a gray sedan. That's a Honda Civic sedan. I would like to have that car. And then a silver sedan. Actually, these are all kind of... And then a white pickup truck where Gemini Flash says this is a Tacoma double cab. So, well, I guess double cab means when you can seat more people behind the front 2 seats. So, all right, the rims leave something to be desired here, but all right, yeah. Even Gemini Flash says Tacomas hold their value exceptionally well, even with high mileage. So, wow, and there's another SUV van in the background where it guesses it might be a Ford. So I guess that would be maybe that one in the back. See, I don't know how any person or AI would be able to even make a guess here, but it does guess it's a Ford Escape or Transit. So, all right, so that was super cheap. Yeah, wow, hard to believe, less than 1 cent. So, image recognition, fast, definitely use Google Gemini Flash. Now we have here Luna Pro, which is like their smallest model, but with extended or bigger reasoning. So that's 4 cents here. So it's like 5 times here, like more expensive than the Gemini one. And then Terra Pro, which is, almost 9 cents. So let's see what they say. Okay. Honda Civic Sedan. Honda Civic Sedan DX. And Toyota Camry Sedan. And then, okay, it says older Chevrolet GMC or Ford pickup. And then, so it was more expensive, and it didn't make guesses like Gemini did for these cars there in the back. So if you compare here, So they all say Honda Civic sedan. Okay, so, well, aftermarket wheels. So what I thought were maybe not good wheels are actually the expensive wheels. I don't get it. The GPT models guessed this one first, which I would think is the most visible. And in our prompt, we had said work from the most clearly visible vehicle to the least. So, Gemini here guessed the dark green, and then the Honda Civic sedan. And all right, so Terra Pro, gosh, it'll be hard, but it would be nice if we could just reorder so we can compare apples to apples here. Yeah, Terra Pro did not make any guesses as to the truck. And the pickup, it said, just unidentified, roughly 1990s to 2000s. Whatever. Let's maybe for fun just grab one more video. See, are there any good ones? This one was near the Richmond Kickers Stadium. Let's take a look here. Pressed the wrong button. Okay, fumbling with my camera. Maybe let's do this one. Grab current frame. And let's, okay, you know what, let's compare Luna Pro, which is like their smallest model in a Pro version, with just the regular Luna. And let's put Gemini Flash here in the top spot so we can compare against Gemini Flash, because I think Gemini Flash is actually pretty good always. So let's run this here. And let's see what the models say. See, Gemini Flash is so cheap and so fast. It's like, GPT can't compare. And I might make a video on why I just absolutely hate that there's now on the table that the government might take a stake in OpenAI, which I find is so sneaky, because just like with Intel, once the government takes a stake, then the government might, prioritize OpenAI over something like Gemini or Anthropic models for their tasks. And if those are the worst models or worse models, you just don't want that to happen. We have to live with AI in government, but the risk that government then picks favorites and chooses a worse model, like even as a customer, if you call into a government agency, you want the very best model to handle your request, not OpenAI simply because the government has a stake in it. So might make a video just about that. So let's take a look here. Yeah, so once again, both models, even the regular Luna was more expensive than Gemini Flash, took longer. And let's take a look. Yeah, see. So Gemini says there's a Honda Fit, which I would think is this one. Because I've actually looked at Honda Fits in the past, I would have loved to have one. I tried to get one when they first came out, because I just loved them, and they were even like sold out, like gas was high around that time. So Google Gemini says Honda Fit, then it says Toyota Highlander, first generation facelifted, 2004 to 2007. Then a white SUV with spare tire, which it says is a Honda CR-V, first generation. And then a blue hatchback, which it says is a Scion XB. And then it says somewhere in the driveway. Oh wow, see, there's like a hidden driveway vehicle, and it identified that as a Grand Cherokee WJ generation. And then there's like a silver gray sedan where it says it's a Toyota Corolla, like way in the back. It's like, I wouldn't have thought that somebody can actually identify this. So that's what we have. Honda Fit, Toyota Highlander, Honda CR-V, Scion, XB, that nice blue one, Jeep Grand Cherokee, and then Toyota Corolla. That's a nice, that's one of those, nice city streets, actually right opposite of the Richmond Kicker Stadium. So, people do street parking and they typically have some, they don't drive the very latest, greatest, because if you do have to do street parking, you don't want to risk that. So let's see what GPT Luna did at a bit over a cent. So a bit more expensive. So Toyota Corolla sedan. See, I don't get that thing there. But then it didn't adhere to our instructions, because our instructions say work from the most clearly visible vehicles to the least. So maybe it just went left to right and ignored that instruction. See, that's where it would really help if I knew cars. Silver, gray, compact. All right. So, okay. Luna Pro also saw a Toyota Corolla here. Did I miss something? Because Gemini, I look here at Gemini, so I don't see any Toyota Corolla here. Oh, okay. Far background left. So maybe both Luna models went left to right, ignoring that I said, put the most recognizable ones first. All right, confidence level low by Gemini. So if those went left to right, so it said medium confidence level. But it can't be left to right, because why would you then have Toyota Corolla sedan, and then the Toyota Highlander, then the Honda CR-V, then the Toyota Prius? All right, maybe that was just not a good frame. And I doubt anybody watches this now, but hey, you're watching me use this challenge that I came up with and that I just quickly ran through twice before with my new interface, and just trying to figure out how to best run this. Now let's do one more of the Richmond Maymont parking lot. So that's the Maymont kind of wildlife exhibit, or Maymont Farm entrance, where families go on a Sunday and take their kids. So there'll probably be a lot of minivans. So let's take a look here. All right. Wow, lots of cars. Definitely back a bit. So I just swept my camera back and forth. Maybe let's do this one. This would be fun. Grab current frame. Close. I do need a visual indicator, maybe more, that when I grab the current frame. Okay, so and maybe just to keep it fun, let's do Luna again, because it screws up, I think, in fun ways. And let's keep Gemini Flash just because I trust it the most, I guess. And then let's maybe pick... do we want to use maybe Anthropic, even though those models are better at coding? But let's say enough, even though here... See, this is ridiculous. Luna, which is supposed to be the smallest GPT model, actually took the longest here. And let's see, price-wise, they're all sort of in line. Gemini Flash continues to be the lowest. Luna is the most expensive, and Claude Sonnet is just somewhere in the middle here. So let's take a look. So Gemini Flash says Honda Civic Sedan is this one. And I love how it actually says, you know, which ones it is. So the second car here is a Honda CR-V, 5th generation. Then there's a black sedan that's a Lexus ES350. Then a Toyota Prius C. So white hatchback compact. Is this a... See, I wouldn't have known that this is a compact, but you know, maybe it is. So that's a Toyota Prius C, according to Gemini. And then we have a Hyundai Tucson. And I like how it says, you know, the highly angular geometric body lines, sharp wheel arches and distinctive chrome trim strip along the roof line. Okay. Makes this a Tucson. Oh no. Gosh, I looked at the wrong car. Okay, right side, second car. I was like wondering, where's the chrome trim? Goes to show you how much I know about cars. So yeah. Alright, so this is a... That looks expensive. So if that is a Tucson, yeah, so that's like up to 28K. And then we have a white large SUV with roof box. Okay, so that's an older Chevrolet Tahoe or Suburban. Okay, that makes more sense. Forget I ever thought this, you know, was a Tucson. Then Ford Explorer. I don't know how it would be able to recognize any of these. Ford Explorer and Subaru Outback. And then on the right is a RAV4. Okay, maybe the Outback is the one with that storage on top? I don't know. Alright, so we have the baseline here. Honda Civic Sedan, Honda CR-V, Lexus on the right, Toyota Prius C, Hyundai Tucson here on the right, the nice one, and then a Chevrolet Tahoe or Suburban, that's that big boxy one that I could live in if I end up being so broke that I have to live in a car. All right. Okay, let's take a look at GPT Luna, the most expensive of these cheap ones. It says Honda Accord. See, and I don't like it even, it does, unlike Gemini, it doesn't even tell me which ones it says here. So it says Honda Accord, Honda CR-V, Honda CR-V. Wait, did we have a Honda Accord here? See, Gemini said Honda Civic Sedan, not Honda Accord. Okay, so Luna says Honda Accord, maybe this one. Honda CR-V, that one. Toyota Camry. It talks about the okay, maybe the Honda CR-V is the silver one, and then the Camry on the right. With a front grille. Then Subaru Forester. Maybe I need to put into the prompt, you know, repeat the color, because it doesn't even say here, like, the color of the vehicle. Okay, a Honda Pilot or another compact SUV is also possible. Gosh, well, there we see the limit of my test, because it didn't adhere to the prompt, I feel, and it again just names them like in some nilly-willy order, where somebody like me who doesn't have like images of the models in her mind, you know, it's very hard to say like which ones is it guessing here. All right, but yeah, like just from this one, Luna is just not so good. And let's take a look here at what Sonnet says. Okay, black Honda Accord on the foreground left, silver Honda CR-V. Okay, that's the second one on the left. White Corollas. Okay, that's front facing. So I like that it gives us a little bit clues which cars it's talking about here. And then a black Nissan Altima Sentra on the right. A silver Nissan Rogue. Okay, now didn't Gemini say this is a Tucson? So, like, is this a Rogue or a Tucson? Not sure. Because maybe I'm trusting Gemini too much, you know, maybe, or maybe it got some things right that Gemini got wrong. So, all right. So that ran on OpenRouter via Amazon Bedrock. Interesting. All right. Well, maybe it wasn't like the best frame here. Let's pause it at just the right spot. Yeah, nice. Grab the current frame. And yeah, see, I love how it just implemented for me that I can enlarge it, but it keeps the place in the video and the status of the video and all that. So, all right. One more chance for Luna. We keep Gemini Flash. Let's choose a Chinese one. Actually, I created here Chinese, where I can type in Chinese, and we can pick. Let's use Qwen Flash. You know, because for all we know, this could be worse than Luna. So, all right. I should have always like enlarged it here. So obviously I can choose any here that fit the modality of the challenge from OpenRouter. And we can run it. Let's see what happens. Guess it. Okay, Gemini Flash is fast. Qwen, I don't know if that has to go across the ocean or if maybe that runs in the US somewhere. Maybe it's going to China because it's taking the longest here. Luna was the second place one. But yeah, who knows? Might even error out. We don't know. It happens on OpenRouter quite frequently, but let's take a look what Gemini says. So the red SUV, Ford Explorer. Okay. Then a dark blue SUV is a Honda CR-V. Okay, there's definitely that Honda sign. Then a medium blue SUV, that is this one, which looks, yeah, Subaru Outback. Let's commit that to memory. Ford Explorer, Honda CR-V, Subaru Outback, Honda Odyssey, Honda Civic Sedan, Toyota RAV4, Kia Telluride, and then it's guessing a Ford Explorer and a Jeep Grand Cherokee. All right, let's take a look at Luna. Okay. Ford Explorer. Yeah, hard to miss even the Ford logo here in the foreground. Honda CR-V. Subaru Outback. Toyota Sienna. See, this is good. That frame, we have them basically left to right, all parked the same way. Hybrid minivan. Okay. Subaru Forester. Toyota RAV4. A Volvo XC90. See, I can't tell which one it might have thought is a Volvo. Dark SUV at the far right. Possibly Jeep Grand Cherokee. Okay, dark compact SUV behind the CR-V. So is that the CR-V? So is it... Anyway. Probably 95% of Americans can better tell, yeah, which the models refer to here. So let's compare with Qwen Flash, which took over 90 seconds, but it cost less than 1 cent. So compared with Gemini Flash, this one was actually still cheaper than Gemini Flash. So the first model we've seen that's cheaper than Gemini Flash. So it says Ford Explorer, Honda CR-V, Subaru Outback, Honda Odyssey, Honda Civic, Lexus RX. So let's see, it guessed Honda Civic and Lexus RX. So Gemini for those said Honda Civic, Toyota RAV4. So it didn't guess a Lexus here, like minivan. Okay, well, I think we've established that, you know, even with my lacking car knowledge, I would say Gemini Flash is by far the best mix between, you know, the answers it gives. It actually refers to the cars. It adheres to the instructions. It gives pretty good identification of car models. Now, Qwen Flash, I would say, was also pretty good, and you know, it's just slightly cheaper even. It took way longer. And GPT Luna just was not good throughout the test. So, all right, I feel I talked here for a long time, even though I had that bit in the middle where I was like vibe coding some more code and stuff. So let's see here. Yeah, I'm going to wrap this up, and you know, we'll be just hopefully get better at, you know, narrating benchmarks. And I do have a publish button here, so eventually this will become a website where you cannot run your own you know, evaluations, but you can look at the ones that I ran and, you know, really dig into, you know, just the read-only interface to see what the frames were, you know, what it identified and all that kind of stuff. And obviously, you know, that's just one part. Vision perception, I figured it would be the funnest to talk with or about right now. And later I'll do some coding, reasoning and logic, you know, creative writing. I wired up various interfaces where, you know, it helps me compare the models and use different modality models through OpenRouter, etc. And this was, I think, it was just like one test that I ran here with visual generation. But yeah, so look for a lot more benchmarks to come. I think this was sort of fun, you know. All right, gonna wrap it up here and hope to see you in my next video. And thanks for watching to the end. You know, like and subscribe, you know, if you want to encourage me doing more of these kind of things. And yeah, bye.